This is the home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Woo! Well, here we are again. I always love doing these live streams because I get to interact one-on-one with everybody that helps me support this channel and has helped me support this channel the last 2.5 years. On tap tonight, we got a few topics about Oklahoma to talk about, as well as maybe even touch on some conference realignment stuff. It seems like that stuff never goes away. I done a podcast about it today. Clemson has now sued the ACC. Clemson and Florida State are probably going to be out. As I said in the podcast earlier today, ESPN controls the TV rights for 3 conferences: the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC. And I told people in the past that that grant of rights wasn't exactly, I got a damn frog in my throat, wasn't exactly as ironclad as they thought. They just didn't want to believe it. They were desperate. That they just don't want the Big Ten and the SEC to take over. And I really don't want that either. But it seems like it's going that way. It seems like the ACC is going to be disbanded. But if the ESPN has the TV rights to their stuff, well, then more than likely they're going to dictate where a lot of ACC schools goes. And more than likely they may have some end up in the Big 12 as well. The main topic of this show, I'm going to go ahead and get to it right now. I was watching I don't usually watch this guy's stuff because I like to, call him Matt be fake, because a lot of the stuff he's portrayed himself, so to me it's a little fake. But that's neither here nor there. He's trying to make him a channel just like the rest of us, but he done a video either today or yesterday about Marcus Dupree, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I clicked on it because I like the stories about Marcus Dupree. And seems like Matt had a few choice words that sort of caught me off guard. Got a few notes here. He said that basically Marcus Dupree, he alluded to it numerous times, that Barry Switzer and the staff were jealous of Marcus Dupree. He basically was saying that Marcus Dupree was sort of the coaching staff was a little too hard on Marcus Dupree. He went on to say that Marcus Dupree got his mother to call and say something to Barry Switzer about not getting enough playing time, and he ended up getting in the game because Marcus Dupree was threatening to leave, and that Barry Switzer had told Marcus Dupree that the reason why he wasn't playing is because he was still young and he was a freshman. And back in the day, that's when it hadn't been too long. It probably been about 10 or 15 years since freshmen were allowed to actually play. Because back in the 60s, I think the rule was freshmen weren't allowed to play at all. You had to sit out your first year. For whatever reason, that was the rule. So Barry Switzer was probably still old school like that. But Matt just kept on rambling on, and it seemed like he was taking a shot at Barry Switzer. He was like, how can Barry Switzer, how can he dare to tell this young man he's not good enough to start and that he's too young, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason why he can do it, Matt, is because he's a head football coach of a major college football program, a blue blood program by the name of the Oklahoma Sooners. And you're going to come on here and question Barry Switzer and how much playing time he give Marcus Dupree his freshman year, saying he was jealous of him? That was the exact words he used. Jealous. He said the coaching staff in general was jealous of Marcus Dupree and led to Marcus Dupree going back home and disappearing for a couple of weeks. I watched the story on Marcus Dupree. He went back home. I don't know if it was during the Christmas holidays or during the summer break or during the middle of the season. I think it might have been in the middle of the season that he actually went home and didn't come back, and nobody could find him. Well, he tried to blame all that on the mistreatment by Barry Switzer. And I'm just like, I know Barry Switzer has a sharp tongue. I know Barry Switzer says some shit that really stings sometimes. I've heard him do interviews. But that's Barry Switzer. You know, there was a few nice little nuggets in there that he did give Barry Switzer and the Oklahoma program. He talked about how they got him away from Texas. I didn't know that. I didn't know Marcus Dupree had originally committed to Fred Akers and the Texas Longhorns, but he had. And Oklahoma sent Billy Sims down there to drive Marcus Dupree all the way from Mississippi to Oklahoma. And I'm sure they had a great conversation on that drive up to Oklahoma. And magically, he ends up going to Oklahoma. Great move. Great recruiting ploy by Oklahoma. Now, that would be like, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes, like he said, of Texas Tech, going down to Texas Tech or going to a college or a high school recruit's house and driving him to Lubbock to try to persuade him to go to Texas Tech. Be a great recruiting tool, right? See who else we got here in the house. John Ritchie's in the house. John Ritchie says, Matt be mad. Is that Matt? You trying to say Matt be mad? See who else is up in here. We got Scott Schrader. He says, hello, it's Sooner Legends. And Sooner Legends podcast said earlier, Sooner Legends says, hit the like button, please. That's always a must. J.D. Wilmoff's in the house. Marcus Dupree's downfall was dealing with Ken Farley. It's actually Fairley. But yeah, Ken Fairley, when he went home for that 2 weeks before the bowl game against Arizona State, he was never the same again. I think Fairley brainwashed him. Yeah, I was getting to that. If Matt wants to try to lay blame and act all astonished and taken aback about something, he should be mad at Reverend Farley, because Farley basically took advantage of him and his mama. And even when Marcus left college and ended up in the USFL, because he lived down in Jackson. I think, where was he live? He lived down in southern Mississippi. Was he living in Jackson, Mississippi, or was it Hattiesburg? I can't remember the exact town. I think it's Philadelphia. But he's from Philadelphia. And Matt did talk about that in the video. But what pissed me off about that is he didn't like he really laid a lot of blame at the hands of Ken Farley. That guy absolutely brainwashed him, as J.D. Wilmoff said. He's a lot older than him. He's a preacher, so everybody trusts him, right? And the guy took most of his money. As a matter of fact, he's even trying to sue the 30 for 30 podcast, or not podcast, the 30 for 30 TV show on ESPN for defamation of character. Because he said that Marcus Dupree, Oklahoma, and ESPN defamed him. But there's nothing to defame, Ken. You went down there, got the boy coming home, and got him thinking about going to Southern Miss over Oklahoma? Really? That's who they should blame. He went on to say that Barry Switzer actually blamed Marcus Dupree for their loss to Arizona State. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Why would Barry Switzer blame him? Now, he may have. I don't know. I didn't watch the post-game interview. That was a game that was back in the 1980s. Maybe you guys and gals can tell me there. Did Barry Switzer blame Marcus Dupree for that loss to Arizona State in the Fiesta Bowl because he supposedly came back 30 pounds overweight? Because if Barry did, he probably is a little wrong on that, because I think Marcus Dupree ended up having like almost 250 yards rushing in that game. So how can you blame Marcus Dupree for that loss? I think he ended up like 32-21 or something like that. Yeah, I just said that. Back in the day, freshman players, or underclassmen as they call them, didn't get any respect. That's why Adrian Peterson didn't win the Heisman Trophy. That's true back in the day. Even if you had a great year like Herschel Walker did. Herschel Walker had a great freshman year, and they ended up not giving him the Heisman Trophy till his junior season. So back then there was like a unwritten rule that you could not give the Heisman Trophy to someone unless they were a junior. They wasn't even going to give it to sophomores back then. Matt Douchebag is what OU Center calls him. Thing is, with Matt, a lot of people get misled by MattBeGreat, and that he's not really that great. They get misled by him because he's got over 200,000 subscribers. But I'm here to tell y'all, I've heard from numerous reliable people out there. I'm not going to mention them by name because they asked me not to. But they said that MattBeGreat actually used a program to buy subscribers. So it probably explains why he's got almost, 250,000 subscribers for a college football channel. That's a lot, especially, I'm just saying. I mean, I can't prove that he's doing that, but it sure does look suspicious. Peanut Butter Hero says, Barry isn't jealous of someone living in a double wide. From the pictures I saw and from the video I saw, Peanut Butter, Marcus Dupree lived in a house, not a double wide. Here's the one on that minister that y'all was talking about. Y'all see that? Says, Hattiesburg pastor says he'll sue over Dupree documentary. Guess all that Marcus Dupree money's gone. LOL, someone said in a comment. Minister says ESPN show defamed him. Hattiesburg minister says a nationally televised documentary on former football star Marcus Dupree made him look like a thief. Reverend Kenneth Fairley, pastor of Mount Carmel Baptist Church, has demanded a retraction and issued a notice to ESPN and Bristol, Connecticut-based company that aired the documentary. Since airing The Best That Never Was, Reverend Farley is inundated with claims that he stole millions of dollars from Dupree. Wow. Also, for the Oklahoma Sooners out there, y'all's bring y'all something else up. Y'all's actual 2025 schedule, both non-conference and conference schedule, came out today. Let's pull that up for y'all real quick and see what y'all think about that. All right, 2025, it says here, Oklahoma is playing Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, and Kent State. So y'all playing Michigan and Norman. Then your SEC opponents are Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, Missouri, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. So you got a nice little non-conference tip with the Michigan Wolverines, huh? So what do y'all think about that? Y'all think that MattBeGreat maybe overstepped his bounds a little bit? Matt seems to me sometimes he's a little bit liberal leaning. He's also a con-time Deion Sanders fan. And Matt, to be honest with you, brother, you're coming across as a con man because it's sort of reaching. It sounded almost high schoolish, maybe even elementary-ish, when you kept saying that he was jealous because Barry Switzer wouldn't play him. Or when they did play him, he started doing so good that Barry Switzer and them got jealous. That don't make no sense to me, man. Barry Switzer was just old school. And like I said, it hadn't been but maybe 10, 15 years since they actually started letting freshmen play. So Barry should absolutely be able to start who he wants to. I don't care if Marcus Dupree threatens to transfer or not. Can you imagine having the NIL on the transfer portal back then? Marcus Dupree would have probably ended up transferring to Southern Miss. That in itself right there tells you that, Ronnie Fairley, whatever his name was, Kenneth Fairley was not on the up and up. To try to get that boy to go to Southern Miss over Oklahoma, and you can play for Oklahoma, absolutely reeks of maybe someone's getting a little something to try to, get him to come there. And then he said that he never saw any of the money, like his first couple of years in the USFL or how many years he played in USFL. He said he never saw none of the money and that he would have to ask because he made him power of attorney. Now, you got to remember, Marcus Dupree's not but 19 years old. He left Oklahoma. He ended up leaving Oklahoma because that shady-ass Reverend Kenneth Fairley talked him into trying to go to Southern Miss. And back then, you had to sit out. And he had transferred in the middle of the season So he had to sit out that season and the next season. That's almost 2 seasons he would have had to sit out. And that's why he ended up not going to Southern Miss. He ended up going to USFL. Because back then, the NFL didn't take you unless you was a junior in college. That was the rules back then. So Kenneth Fairley absolutely screwed this boy. If anybody's to blame, it's Kenneth Fairley. It's some of his relatives. Just like now, man. A lot of these kids now, man, their relatives and their pastors and all these other people get in their ear. They get money signs and they just like, they take advantage of these kids, man. Lots of time it's their own kid that they're taking advantage of. Carvin OK says, Barry Switzer is an All-American out of Arkansas and a Hall of Famer coach. Marcus Dupree needed to work harder to get on the field. Barry Switzer was a world-class recruiter and put it in a place a world. I don't know. I don't understand the last part, but I get exactly what you're saying in the first part there, Carvin. I absolutely agree. I don't know why Matt kept saying that. He kept expounding on it. So if I was y'all, it's probably going to give him some hits, me doing this. But I have unsubscribed to his channel. I hate to try to suggest you unsubscribe to anybody's channel, but I'm just saying I have, because that's just desperation and him trying to play up to whomever he's trying to play up to. I know he's also was a big supporter of Lincoln Riley, as well as Contom Deion Sanders. So now Matt's actually an Alabama fan too. Surprise, surprise, you know. And I get a lot of accusations that, you know, people are just Alabama fans because it's the flavor, you know, the bandwagon fans. And Matt probably is a bandwagon fan, I'll be honest with you. But he just goes with the flow and whatever he thinks is politically correct sometimes. And sometimes politically correct is not really correct. And it ends up turning on you. So you better make sure that the politically correct view that you're taking is not going to come back and haunt you someday, Matt. That's all I'm saying. But to continuously talk and ramp up accusations in your video that Barry Switzer somehow harmed Marcus Dupree's career and mistreated him and wouldn't let him play because he was jealous of him? Really? That Christian Fam Channel says, I wouldn't trust anything MattBeGreat has to say. Dude is always far-fetched with his stories. Exactly. And like I said, I don't see how that dude's got over 250,000 subscribers, man. There's something fishy about that. And like I said, I've heard some reliable people out there that he probably used these programs that people can use to buy subscribers. But the thing is, when you buy subscribers, yeah, you get the subscriber numbers, but it's hollow because then they don't watch your videos. And then you don't get retention. And retention, that's how long people watch your video, is what YouTube's really looking at. The subscribers is nice window dressing for those that are aspiring to have their own podcast one day. Subscribers are nice, but it's just window dressing. What you need is retention for people to watch it and watch it all the way through. You get a bunch of subscribers on there that don't watch it, don't click on it, it's going to show up in retention, and YouTube is going to pay you accordingly. The Center Surgeon said he unsubscribed to him a long time ago. Like I said, I've sent y'all some links. I sent Center Legends podcast a link. I sent Killer Breeze a link. I don't know where he's at. Ryan Thibodeau, a.k.a. Big Cojones Kelly, sent him a link. So if anybody wants to be on here, just let me know in the comment section. I'll try to get on here and send you a link to be on the show. Because this show is about the common Joe and Sally in the know. Yeah, I absolutely think you did buy those things. Peanut Butter Hero says, Marcus mistreated himself. By the way, if y'all want me to answer your questions. I can't see everybody's comments. We got over 20-something people in here now already. If you want me to address your comment and you want to push it above everybody else's, all you got to do is click on the little money dollar sign at the bottom. So you got a circle or a square around it. Click on that, write your comment out, send it, and it will highlight it and push it to the top, and I will answer your question. Just make a little small donation to the program and it'll push it to the top. Also, and this is free, you can jump out real quick if you don't mind. Smash the like button. Like, share, comment, and subscribe whenever this thing goes to podcast after we get off here as well. And I'll share my channel out to everybody so we can get those subscribers. Not the Matt Be Great kind of subscribers, but, you know, quality over quantity, right? Well, you can come on in anytime you feel like it, Mike. Just saddle on up, brother. Get on the horse. Get your ass up in here. Jetty Wilmoth's in the house. He has his badge. By the way, you see these people in here with the badges. That Christian Fam channel, Sooners Legends Podcast, among others. If you want to get your badge like them and get deputized, you can join the Outlaw Posse for $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. You get your badge, you get deputized. You'll get a random Four Horsemen shout out on the actual podcast, as well as possible be the comment of the day. Y'all had some people up in here. What do y'all think about that schedule, Oklahoma schedule there? Y'all play Michigan next year. Guess y'all got a little home and home. Y'all going to go to the big house, huh? 1989 M in the house. He's our resident Wolverine of the defending national champions. Your defending national champions, the Michigan Wolverines. Everybody knows that the true and old school Crimson Nation channel is the international, global, intergalactic, undefeated, undisputed, universal OCF. I can't talk tonight, man. I've been stumbling about and everything, man. I should have just got Killer Breeze and Mike getting here first and let me come in later. Sound like a damn drunk or something. And I ain't been drinking tonight. Except for this. This is called Uptime. It's called Uptime. It's a good little energy drink. Blueberry pomegranate. So let's bring in the new legend that is amongst us. He's going to grace us with his presence. It's Mike Wilkerson from Sooners Legends Podcast.
How's it going, JPC?
How's it going, brother?
It's sunshine and 72 degrees. Can't complain, brother.
Look, man, I saw that Matt Be Great video, and I thought, man, he's doing some history type videos like Sooner Legends Podcast. I thought, man, he must be ripping him off. And I got to watch it. I'm like, damn, man, this is like a alternate Bizarro World version of Sooner Legends Podcast.
Yeah, if everybody remembers, I mean, Marcus Dupree had that awesome breakout season. We go down to Arizona State, and I mean, shit went to hell in handbasket real quick. Dupree went out of the game with a injured hammy. But that next season, Coach Switzer said he was overweight and slow. So he limbers along. We play Texas. Texas just treats him like a punching bag, more or less. I mean, Dupree didn't do crap against Texas in that game. Hurt his knee. Came back out against K-State, had a pretty good game, and injured his knee. And then the next thing you know, Dupree's gone. Now, I will have to search for this in my archive somewhere, Jesse, and I'll send you a link when I find it. And this was done after Dupree's 30 for 30. And what Coach Switzer said, now I'm going to paraphrase because I haven't watched it in a long time. He said, had he have known what he known when he recruited Dupree, is he would have redshirted him for that 1 year, because a lot of people don't remember that Coach Switzer started Dupree over several soon to be, because you've watched Barry Switzer enough to know, Jesse, that Switzer had a stable full of running backs and fullbacks and tailbacks.
Well,
And
I just want to know if that part of the story is accurate. Matt said that
yeah,
he said that Marcus Dupree's mother called Barry Switzer and got on his ass, and told Barry Switzer that Dupree was going to leave, and that he started starting Dupree at that point. I'm like, it's hard for me to believe that Barry Switzer got punked out by somebody's mom.
No. You never. That's one thing, Coach.
Is that actually true?
No.
And why would he say something like that, man? I don't get it.
It's MattBeGreat. He's a douche nozzle. I can't stand the fucker. Oh, excuse me. I can't stand the idiot.
Go ahead and finish your story. I think I interrupted you on something.
But anyway, he next thing you know, he's gone. Coach Switzer didn't know where he went. The team didn't know where he went. The region, nobody. And his mama supposedly had him a plane ticket, and he flew back to Jackson, Mississippi, and he never did show up at the airport where he was supposed to.
Yeah, he said that now. He said that part.
And they kicked him off the team. Well, there's also another thing in my archive when they played that first game without Marcus Dupree, and the team's in the locker room celebrating. Now, that was a long time ago. I can't remember who we beat, but you remember that old song from the Pointer Sisters, "We Are Family"? Well, the team was singing "We Are Family. We don't need Marcus Dupree." So, yeah. But I did look it up before I came on the show. Now, Barry, I remember this now. Me and Daddy, we never missed an OU football game for nothing. And people took that Barry Switzer, that comment that he made in the post game, and they ran with it.
Yeah, because that's what Matt was saying. He's like, not only is this guy jealous of his own player, but he blamed him for a loss to Arizona State when he rushed for almost 250 yards. Barry Switzer absolutely mistreated this guy.
Barry Switzer treated him far better than. But anyway, if you read down on, I pulled this up from the archives of the Daily Oklahoman. He mentioned that, but if you knew Switzer like I knew, you knew when he was just what we call talking out the side of his mouth, meaning fruit word salad, not meaning nothing. And he said that, but he had that shit-eating grin on his face. But if you go down in that archive and look, Barry Switzer will tell you why they lost that game. We had so many damn turnovers in that game.
Yeah, I saw he rushed for almost 250 yards. I'm like, damn, how many? Not only did they lose, y'all lost by double digits. I'm like, how'd that shit happen?
Oh God, Jesse, we fumbled. Kelly Phelps fumbled so many times in that game. We had fumbles, and oh God, it was just ugly. I remember that game. Oh my God, that's one game I forgot that I wanted to forget.
But I'd never known it happened. But when I watched that video, I was like, I thought I was just going to watch it and get some historical perspective. But this was absolutely a Barry Switzer grill job. This dude was going straight after Barry Switzer and the entire coaching staff at Oklahoma for making Marcus Dupree have I guess a crappy life. He ended up being a pretty decent human being. I don't think he ever really done drugs or anything.
No, he didn't.
I think he just had he probably had some mental issues or something.
He did. You know. And a lot of people will tell you now that ever since that happened, Barry and Marcus has buried the hatchet over that deal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I heard he got injured pretty badly against in the New Orleans. Well, he's played for the New Orleans Breakers.
Yeah.
USFL. He got injured pretty badly. And back then, as you know, we didn't have the technology we have now. So his knee was blasted. But he ended up coming back and making a comeback, and actually did start for the NFL, or not start, but he played for the LA Rams.
He sure did.
That in itself, even though he didn't come back and he was a star, that in itself, to be able to come back from that kind of knee injury and actually play for an NFL team, speaks volumes of what he could have been.